Today, I'm going to show you how to take this beautiful ingredient to make this wonderful bread with cheese and Marmite. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I have got the most delicious bread recipe for you today with my favourite ingredient. Yes, Marmite. You either love it or hate it. If you love it, stick with me. Right, we're going to show you how to make a basic dough. Now, normally in many of my recipes, we'll just kind of skip this bit because we've done it so many times before. But I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to show you very quickly how to make a basic bread dough. So we've got 500 grams of strong bread flour. I use Cars most of the time. It's very reliable. You can get it all over the UK, supermarkets, the lot. But it needs to be strong bread flour. Okay, so sometimes they call it strong, sometimes call it bread flour. But it needs to be for making bread. We've got 10 grams of salt. That's going to go in one side. I've got 7 grams of dried yeast. Okay, if you want to use fresh, you need to double it and use 14 grams. But this is the dried stuff, and it's usually like a big heaped teaspoon. It'll be the same thing. Blend that all together. And then I have got about 300 mils of water here. So I'm going to put in like 2/3 of it. Just roll your hand around the bowl and start to bring the dough together. Okay, and then add the rest. Because sometimes you might find it needs a little bit more, and sometimes it needs a little bit less. So it's all about achieving that consistency. And I can tell straight away that's going to need a little bit more. But only a tiny bit, not much. There. And I can always add a touch more if I need to. So just roll it around the bowl. And you want like a scraggly, is that a word? Scraggly? Sort of ball of dough. All right, it's not going to look perfect. It's going to look a bit porridgey. Okay, chuck those bits in. And then all you need to do now is knead. So you hold it with one hand, push it away with the other. And what we're trying to do is just develop the gluten, make the bread nice and stretchy and smooth, okay? It's going to take probably 10 minutes of just stretching it, rolling it back. You can chuck it in your mixer if you want to. Absolutely no problem. You can chuck it into a bread maker and just put it on like the pizza or dough setting. It'll do it all for you. But it's quite nice sometimes just to make it by hand if you've got the time. So all I do is I just hold it, push it, and as I come back, I go up on my heels and then I go back down again onto my toes. And that just sort of takes the strain away a little bit. So just knead until you get a nice, smooth, stretchy dough. Okay, so you'll see now the dough, look, it is really stretchy. My worktop's clean. Basically, as I've kneaded, I've picked up any of those little bits of dough and I've just worked it. But what I haven't done is add any flour at all. If you work the dough, you stretch it and knead it, it will change in its appearance and its texture and it won't need flour. Okay, if you sort of follow my recipe, add the water a little bit at a time and then just get it to a point where you can put it out on the worktop, knead it for 10 minutes, you will end up with a dough like this that you can actually manage without adding more flour. Because the more flour you add, the tighter the dough will become, the less it will prove. Okay, so return it to your mixing bowl, cover it with cling film, and leave it to prove until it's doubled in size, okay? Don't put it in the airing cupboard. That's a myth. All you're doing is accelerating it. Just let it sit out wherever you are and let it prove. Or stick it in the fridge overnight to prove. Okay, so this dough I made before is doubled in size. And you can almost sort of see the air pockets, okay? And if I just grab a plastic scraper, we can just work it round the bowl. And I should be able to tip that out. There we go. So now what we've got is a dough and it's full of carbon dioxide, okay? And if I sort of stretch it open, look, you can see the gluten like that web. That's what you want to see. That, to me, tells me that the gluten structure is there in the dough and it's ready to make into bread. Okay, so what we need to do is just knock all the air out so that on our final second prove, we get a nice even rise, okay? Right. There we go. Okay, so we're ready to flavour it with my very favourite thing, Marmite. Love it. I'm actually going to pop it into a pan of warm water, and that's going to make the Marmite nice and runny, which will make it really easy to spread through the bread, okay? And then I've got some bit of mozzarella, a bit of cheddar. I'm going to do a mix.
If you didn't like Marmite, what else could you use?
You need to switch to another account and watch something else. Okay, a little bit of flour, because what we're going to do is just roll this out now before we put the lovely Marmite on. Might get a little bit excited when the Marmite comes out, Emily, I warn you now. I do like a Marmite recipe. Right, a little bit of flour. Because our dough, we mixed it, we got it right, we've proved it. We can now add a little bit of flour and it won't sort of dry it out really. And all I'm trying to do is just roll it out so that we can coat it in all that lovely Marmite and cheese. Quite possibly the two greatest ingredients ever created. Cheese and Marmite and bread. That's three.
Yeah.
It's like my three favourite things. Don't tell my wife and kids. My three favourite things are Marmite, cheese and bread. Right. So you can see it's all just moving about. It's fairly easy to use. Okay. And just before you start adding stuff, make sure you can move it about, because once you've got the Marmite and the cheese on, you need to be able to do that, okay? So it's just like a massive pizza. Okay, Marmite. Are you ready for this shot, Emily? I've been thinking about this last night before we were going to film. This is the moment. Whoa. Look at that. It smells so good.
Of course, yours.
I love Marmite. Oh, so good.
Still let you have a moment.
I'm having a little moment. It's like Thomas with his Cinnabon, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go, look. Warm your Marmite up. Little tip for you, actually. Marmite on your roast potatoes. There you go, Poppy Cooks. That's one for you. Marmite on your roast potatoes. Right. Okay. We don't need to spread this because it's just got like some big heavy. That's my bit there. With loads on and like that. That's Emily's bit there with the tiniest hint.
Yeah.
Right. I've got some grated mozzarella, which has got no flavour, really. But it's going to give it that nice kind of stringy bit. So we'll just have a handful of that. And then we're on to some cheddar. Proper cheese, okay? So, let's get some proper cheese. This is your mum's worst nightmare, this, isn't it?
Yep.
Gluten and cheese, bless her. And your dad's nightmare with Marmite. So, just get some cheddar.
How much cheese are you using?
This much. This is how much cheese I'm using. So we've done a handful of grated mozzarella, which is 250. So like what, 60 grams of mozzarella grated, and then 100 grams of cheddar. There we go. And then just pull it to the sides. Make sure that everything has got a bit of cheese on it. And then all we're going to do is roll it up. Now, okay, so just roll the dough like a Swiss roll almost. And that's just going to encase all the cheese, all the Marmite, and it's just going to marry up together. Okay? And if you wanted to, actually you asked me earlier, didn't you, what could you use instead of Marmite? Actually, you could kind of go sort of quite a few different ways. You could add pesto, you could add mozzarella to it, you could add indua, you know, that really spicy Calabrian salami that's spreadable, you could add that in it. you can add what you like, but Marmite's the greatest ingredient in the world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
Don't blame
Oh, come on, it is. I met up with a friend who lives in Australia the other day, who was over, and he was all Vegemite, and I was like, you've changed.
Is it? What's the difference?
I think Vegemite is weaker. It's not as strong because they're wusses. You know, they're Southern Hemisphere, aren't they? So we're hard and strong up north. We like our Marmite. Okay, so I've just got it in half. I've got 2 pieces now. Literally, don't like get really precious about this. Just chop them up like that. And all we're going to do is just chuck them in. Turn them up, cut side up. And the idea is that you kind of fill a tray so that as it proves, it bakes in and it bakes, it kind of all sticks together as one big lovely bread. Okay. And like, you know, luckily like the proving will just, it's really forgiving, so it'll just fill up. So all I've done is I've just put them all in like that. All we're going to do now is leave that for an hour at room temperature. It will prove double in size. It will fill that void there. We'll bake it at 180 degrees until it's all bubbly and crispy, and you'll have melted cheese and Marmite inside that bread. Is going to be absolutely delicious. My kitchen smells absolutely amazing, and it is cheese, Marmite and bread baking. So look, you can see it's just completely filled the void. Let me turn that over. Marmite is such an amazing ingredient when you put cheese and bread together. Even Emily's getting tempted, who doesn't really like Marmite, but she wants to try this. And the beauty of it is, look, it will just tear like that into portions. Come on, Emily Gray, you know you want to. I want to. Now, do you go for middle, super squashy in the middle, all the sides, or do you go for a crispy bit?
No, I like, this is kind of like perfect, a little bit of both. I love the soft and squidgy, but I like a bit of a,
This is absolutely delicious. If you want the recipe, go to petersidwell.com. You can get it there. That's where we keep all our recipes these days. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.